ideas versus platforms. It's kind of a chicken and egg ordeal, right? So I work really, really closely with creatives. I've always strived for ideas first and platform and execution second. But because where I work is also a digital shop and brands come to us, with a platform in mind, we have to kind of think about ways to build things for a specific platform. Like I said, you don't just want to throw an idea on Facebook for the sake of having a Facebook app and hope it sticks, because that's not going to work, and nobody's going to want to use it. You don't want people to think that's a great use of that platform. What you want them to think is that is a great idea. So it's really thinking about it from idea to platform, and then from platform to idea, to really shape your concepts and going through your creative process. So what you do is you create ideas where you can't separate the message from the technology, and this is where being platform-driven comes in. About 5 or 6 years ago, someone I really admire, Faris Jacob, who is the Chief Innovation Officer at MDC Partners, started talking about something called transmedia planning. And what transmedia planning is a model where brands tell stories in a non-linear narrative that's constantly evolving. So various channels in this model communicate different self-contained pieces to create a larger brand story. And the way this model works is that it produces more elements than any single person can digest. As an individual, you're never going to see all of those things. But what it does is it leads people to share pieces of the narrative, and it drives word of mouth, and it creates communities around the brand, since consumers have to pull in pieces of the story themselves. And over the last few years, this model has really played out through what I like to call the evolution of storytelling. Advertising isn't one way anymore, right? It's completely dynamic. So these channel-driven ideas really lower the barrier to entry and don't ask for as much of a commitment to the brand or the product from consumers. And when you do get that kind of commitment through earned media, it's much more valuable than it was in the past. That being said, all screens aren't created equal. So there really has to be a distribution of creativity on your end. And how you figure out that distribution shouldn't be left to planners. And it's really the creatives who understand this and who start thinking about all these different channels from the beginning. They're the ones who are going to blow people out of the water with their ideas. Because what happens if you don't do that is, you're going to come up with a great overarching idea, and then the planners are going to get in there and tweak them and dilute them, and you're not going to get that story that you wanted to tell from the beginning.